Hello students, today in our physics class about the lesson motion of system of particle and rigid body, and this is going to be the session number 2. Today we are going to see the topics about couple, principle of moments, center of gravity and the method to find the center of gravity, then the cyclist with the bend towards the curve in the roads. First of all, let's see the couple. What do you mean by this couple? Actually, we come across with a tap which is fitted in a pipe. Okay, the tap is forced meant by a couple. Let's see what you mean by the term couple. A pair of forces which are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction and separated by a perpendicular distance so that their lines of action do not coincide and that causes a turning effect is called couple. See, a steering in a car is a good example for a couple. You can see a pair of forces. This is a force from one side, left side, and force from right side, which are equal forces in magnitude, but they are in opposite direction. This is in the two are in opposite direction and they are separated by a perpendicular distance with them so that their lines of action, this is the lines of action, do not coincide and that causes a turning effect is called a couple. Let's see with some example which is given in our textbook. Let the two forces which are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction be applied at the two ends A and B of the rod which is perpendicular to it. The two forces are separated by a distance of 2r, which is 1 and another one is 1r and another one is r. So altogether it is 2r. As the two equal forces are opposite in direction, they cancel each other and the net force acting on the rod is 0. Now the rod is in translational equilibrium, but the rod is not in rotational equilibrium. Actually, if we apply a force here and in downward motion and in a upward motion, then the rod is in rotational motion. Is it? The moment of the force applied at the end A taken with respect to the center point C produces an anti-clockwise rotation. Similarly, the moment of the force which is applied at the end B also produces an anti-clockwise rotation. The moments of both the forces cause the same sense of rotation in the rod. Thus, the rod undergoes a rotational motion or turning even though the rod is in translational equilibrium. This is what the best example for a couple. Now, principle of moments. What do you mean by a principle of moments? Actually, there is a law and the principle of moments states that when in equilibrium, the total sum of the anti-clockwise moment is equal to the total sum of the clockwise moment. When a system is stable or balanced, it is said to be in equilibrium, as all the forces acting on the system cancel each other out. Now, consider a light rod of negotiable mass which is pivoted at a point along its length. Right? Let two parallel forces F1 and F2 act at the ends at distance D1 and D2. These are the distance D1 and D2, which are from D1 and D2 from the point of pivot. This is the point of pivot and the normal reaction force N, this is the normal reaction force N, at the point of pivot as shown in the figure. See, if the rod has to remain stationary in horizontal position, it should be in translational and rotational equilibrium. Then both the net force and the net torque must be 0. Therefore, the net force to be 0 if minus F1 plus N minus F2 is equal to 0, and N is equal to F1 plus F2. For net torque to be 0, d1 F1 minus d2 F2 is equal to 0, and d1 F1 is equal to d2 F2. The above equation represents the principle of moments, and this form of principle of for a beam balance used for weighing good is with the condition d1 is equal to d2 and f1 is equal to f2, we have, or we can write the above equation as f1 divided by f2, which is equal to d2 divided by d1. If f1 is the load and f2 is our effort, we get advantage when d1 is less than d2, and this implies that f1 is greater than f2. That means the force in one point f1 is greater than the force at the another point f2. Hence, we could lift a large load with small effort. The ratio d2 by d1 is called mechanical advantage of the simple lever. The pivoted point is called fulcrum. The mechanical advantage MA is equal to d2 by d1. Now let's see what you mean by the center of gravity. The center of gravity of a body is the point at which the entire weight of the body acts irrespective of the position and orientation of the body. Let me give a good example here for you to understand the center of gravity. See this picture. The arrow indicates the direction of the center of gravity. A person is stable as long as the center of gravity is acting over the base support. Okay, now the center of gravity is just over the edge of the base support and the person is unstable now. This is the point which shows the center of gravity of a person. If you take a laminar or a unshaped, irregular shaped lamina, then you can see lot of the weights here, but the center of gravity remains at the middle. Then each rigid body is made up of several point masses like this, W1, W2, W3, like that. Such point masses experience gravitational force towards the center of Earth. The resultant of these parallel forces always acts through a point. This point is called center of gravity of the body with respect to Earth. The center of gravity and center of mass of a rigid body coincide with the gravitational field is uniform across the body. Now let's see the method to find the center of gravity of a irregularly shaped lamina. First method, this is a irregularly shaped lamina. Okay. Method 1, when a uniform lamina, even a irregular shape is pivoted at various points like this P, R and Q, it remains horizontal where the net gravitational force acts, which is the center of gravity as shown in the figure. Now, when a body is supported at the center of gravity. This is the center of gravity. The sum of the torques acting on all the point masses R, P and Q is compensated by the normal reaction force exerted by the pivot. The body is in static equilibrium and it remains horizontal. Now let's see the second method. This is another lamina with a irregular shape. The method 2 shows that if we suspend the lamina from different points like P, Q, R, S like that as shown in the figure, the vertical lines P, P dash, P, P dash, Q, Q dash, R, R dash all pass through the center of gravity. Okay. Hence, the reaction force acting at the point of suspension and the gravitational force acting at the center of gravity cancel each other, and the torques caused by them also cancel each other. That's why we got a center of gravity here. Bending of cyclist in curves. Most of the time while we are riding a bike or a bicycle, we come across with lot of curves in the roads, but we don't bother about that and we don't know the science behind the curves in the roads. How we manage the curve or how we cross that road while crossing a curve, it's not a matter for us while moving towards our destination, but there is a science behind this curves while bending or not bending in a travel towards a road. Let's see. Now let's consider a cyclist negotiating a circular level road, not a bank road, okay, of a radius R with a speed V. See, this is a picture about the banking road. The cycle and the cyclist are considered as one system with mass m. Here the center of gravity C and it goes in a circle of radius R with a center at O. Let us choose the line OC as x-axis and a vertical line through O as the z-axis as shown in this figure. The system as a frame is rotating about z-axis. The system is at rest in this rotating firm. The forces acting on the system are gravitational force mg and the normal force N, the frictional force F, and finally the centrifugal force mv square by r. These are the forces acting while we travel or while we bend in a curves of a traveling through a road. The forces acting on a system are due to this the forces for rotational equilibrium tau, that means torque net is equal to, altogether the forces give a torque network which is equal to 0. The torque due to the gravitational force about a point A is mg AB, which causes a clockwise turn that is taken as negative. The torque due to the centripetal force is mv square by r into bc, which causes an anti-clockwise turn that is taken as positive. Therefore, minus mg into AB plus mv square divided by r into BC is equal to 0. Or let's take this mv square r into BC in the right hand side, though, so we can take the minus here. Finally, mg AB is equal to mv square r into BC. From triangle ABC, AB is equal to AC sin theta and BC is equal to AC cos theta. For this, refer the diagram. Okay. mg AC sin theta is equal to mv square by r and into AC cos theta. Sin and cos, if you take this here, then tan theta is equal to v square by r into g. You can cancel this m and you can take this g down. Okay, therefore v square by rg. Therefore theta is equal to tan inverse of v square divided by rg. While negotiating a circular level road of radius r at velocity v, a cyclist has to bend an angle theta from vertical given by the above expression to stay in equilibrium. That is to avoid a fall. Let me show the picture how the boy used this to negotiate in a circular level road and he avoid a fall. You can see in this picture the mg and the Newton are acting upward and downward. There is a force. Therefore, the net moment about CG is equal to 0. That's why he ride the bicycle without any fall. Thank you, students. See you in the next class.